speakers this evening is the new General Secretary of the TUC, our very own Francis O'Grady.
Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, everybody, for turning out on a snowy night. Thanks for your solidarity. And it's good to see everybody here from workplaces, from communities, men and women, black and white, young and old, sticking together. This is the hard call. And we're joining together to tell the Chancellor today, if you won't come up with an alternative, then we will. We want an economy that serves ordinary workers, not just those at the top. We want the NHS and all our precious public services owned by the public, accountable to the public, not private profiteers. And we want an end to austerity. We want jobs, we want growth, we want a future for families. Now, I don't know what planet George Osborne lives on, but he should listen up, because people are sick of the double talk, sick of the double standards. Workers taking yet another, while top directors award themselves a 12% increase, an average pay packet of £4.5 million, 185 times the average worker. Family budgets at breaking point, living standards in freefall, and for the first time we have a generation of young people who will be worse off than their parents. Never before have we faced a crisis like this. And as our TUC report showed today, if things carry on as they are, by the time of the next general election, half of all children in Britain will be on below the breadline. We've had enough of right-wing ideology masquerading as economic policy. This is a government of the rich, by the rich, and for the rich. And it's making this crisis much, much worse. It's time for a fundamental change of direction. So here's what we want: a budget for families. Number one, we need fair wages, not just a minimum wage, not even a living wage, but a fair wage, a fair share of the wealth we all produce. Secondly, let's have fair benefits, welfare for people who need it. No more corporate welfare for the likes of A4E. Benefits that people can live on. An end to the benefits cap, the shameful bedroom tax, and the demonisation of decent men and women who have lost their jobs or who are forced to survive on low pay. And thirdly, let's have fair taxes. A Robin Hood tax on the banks who caused this mess. Taxes on the super rich who did the best from the boom, and a crackdown on tax avoidance by big corporations, because for every pound they dodge, that's a pound robbed from our Sure Start centres, our hospitals, our schools, our libraries, our fire stations. And I want to end with a challenge to the Chancellor, because so far, according to Mr. Osborne, it couldn't possibly be his fault that we've lost our AAA rating, that debt is rising, that the economy is on its knees. So on this budget day, I want you, George Osborne, to get up in front of that dispatch box, and I want you to own up and admit you got it wrong. Let's tell him to use next week's budget not to help his friends in the city to get even richer, but to help ordinary families to make a decent living. And if he fails to do that,
Sisters, brothers, we are in the eye of a storm that's raging across Europe, and tonight we send a message of support and solidarity to all those workers across the European continent who are taking action today alongside Australia. And here in the United Kingdom, 250,000 public service jobs have gone in the last 2 years, 1 million more to go. A right-wing government hell-bent on turning the clock back. What kind of morality drives this coalition to hand out tax cuts to millionaires and slash the benefit lifelines for millions? And what kind of morality drives this coalition to heap scorn on those least able to look after themselves? And what kind of morality drives a coalition that promotes despair and division within our society? And I'll tell you what kind. It's a coalition with nowhere to go, it's a coalition with no mandate, and it's a coalition that we will bring down. Food banks, loan sharks, no homes, no jobs, no future. Cameron's legacy to our nations. In one of the richest nations in the world, we have to make our stand against another austerity budget next week. More people on the dole, more spending cuts due to the greed of the bankers. Cameron claiming, and these are his words, unemployment isn't a problem because it's falling all around the country. Try telling that to the families who have lost their breadwinners. Every compulsory redundancy a personal tragedy in Southern Stone. And try telling that to those workers whose lives have been destroyed. Millions of lives have been destroyed because they no longer have their public services. If you cut our people's spending power, you destroy the local economy. But if you cut our people's spending power, you destroy any chances of recovery. You have to invest for growth, not asset strip our country for private profit. This was their plan all along. To blame public services, the unemployed, the disabled, to spread the myths about the unemployed, to demonise single mothers, all while dreaming about finishing what Thatcher had started, privatising our NHS, our schools, our welfare state. Now, the United Kingdom, where families are plunged into poverty by cuts and recession. Stories of kids going without hot meals, winter clothing, missing out on school trips, families struggling with rocketing prices and plummeting pay. And an Oxfam report warning of inequality in Britain not seen since Victorian times. Nick Clegg, David Cameron, George Osborne, forming a new band, No Direction. And it's up to all of us to fight back in our workplaces, our communities, on our streets. Tonight, we say to this coalition, no more austerity for the poor, no more tax handouts for the rich, no more crushing the hopes of a generation. We will fight for a living wage, a fair wage, we'll fight to end the tax dodging by the rich, and we will fight most of all for our National Health Service, and we will kick out the privateers taking us over. And we will stand up, not for the millionaires, but for the millions, the people with no voice. For the woman who gets up early to scrub the floors and cleans toilets so that she can feed and clothe her children, our members. And what we're fighting about isn't just about ourselves or the short-term attacks. We fight for much, much more than that. Our battle is for the kind of society we live in, the communities we build. It's about the legacy we leave for our children. Trade unions were created for hard times, and this is our time. And together, united, fighting with one voice, we will win and we will get rid of this coalition.
today, inspirational as always, and can I particularly echo your remarks about the future of the NHS on behalf of my own union, the Chartered Society of Physiotherapy. Our next speaker, contingency with flag over. Our next speaker, I'm very pleased to introduce Kate Green, who's a Shadow Minister for Equalities. Kate is a campaigner and a fighter for women's rights, and she's also a fighter and campaigner against the austerity agenda. She's a long-standing friend of the trade union movement, so the floor is yours, Kate.
The very warmest of wishes and greetings to all of you from all of us in the Labour Party as part of one great Labour movement. It is absolutely a pleasure to be here with you today. And I'm particularly pleased to be here this week, in the week of the TUC Women's Conference, because this posh boys government is hitting women hardest of all. 76% of George Osborne's spending cuts have been felt by women. The loss of jobs in the public sector, those are women's jobs. Child poverty. Today we see from the Joseph Rowntree Foundation that half of all our children likely to be in poverty by 2015. That's the poverty of their mothers. Children's poverty is about women's poverty, and this is what we have to fight. But it's not an accident that George Osborne and his posh boy mates in the cabinet pick on women. They've got a view of what the world should be like. It's back to the future with this government. If you were there in the 1980s, this is what it was like. Actually, if you were there at any period in the last 100 years with the Tories in charge, this is exactly what it was like. And they're not only nasty, they're not only vicious, they're not only uncaring, they're pretty rubbish, they're pretty incompetent, they're pretty useless too. Borrowing up, they have no idea about the impact of their policies. They don't care and they don't know, and it's time we told them to go. In 7 days' time, when Osborne presents his budget, it will be worse for families like ours, ordinary families that hold this country together while he and his cronies take the gains. We have to stand up and say we will no longer tolerate this, and I know that together we have already put the frighteners on them, and we are going to get the message over that now we have had enough. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I wish you a very successful ride on this service.
Thank you, Kate. And Kate's explained that she's got to kind of dash off back to the House of Commons for a vote. So thank you again for sparing us the time, Kate. Now, our next speaker is reflecting the position of young people, in particular young unemployed people. We all know how hard the recession, the prolonged recession, is affecting young people and how we risk a whole lost generation. Wayne Foster, who is currently unemployed and from the West Midlands, is going to tell it from his point of view. You're very welcome, Wayne.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As she said, my name is Wayne Foster. I'm 21 and I'm unemployed. In Dudley, where I live, over 1 in 10 young people are jobless. I've been struggling to find quality work for 2 years now, even though I have a BTEC National Diploma qualification. Employers say I lack the experience, but it's hard to get the experience when no one will give you a chance. It's hard to find a job when local businesses are closing. It's hard to find a job when you're competing with graduates for basic entry-level jobs. For example, this week today, 2,500 people applying for 22 jobs at a new store opening in my local town. I want to go to university and I want to study social science and psychology. But with tuition fees going up, I can't see this happening. Young people like me need the government's help so we can move on with our lives and not stay in the rut that we're in. We need quality work experience where you actually learn skills that will benefit you in the workplace. We need better apprenticeships that lead to jobs and that pay more than £2.65 an hour. We need schemes like the education maintenance allowance to be brought back. It is not right that young people are now being discouraged from going to college because they fear they won't have enough money for travel or eating food. The government needs to listen and understand the obstacles young people are facing. If you receive job seekers allowance like I do, you have to be willing to travel 90 minutes to work or for an interview. This means relying on public transport, which is becoming more and more expensive. This means having less money to pay for other things. Young people like me don't want something for nothing. We are willing to work hard, to put the effort in. I want to earn enough to build a future for myself and in the future to support a family. But how can I realistically achieve this when my options are being narrowed by the day? Before you cut any more, Mr. Osborne, think about this. Thank you.
I think the applause says it all. I'd rather listen to you any day, Dwayne, than Mr. Osborne. And something you said just then also reminded me of a newspaper clipping I read recently about some jobs at Costa Coffee in Nottingham. Opened a new branch, 1,700 applicants for 8 jobs in that branch. Our next speaker comes from Britain's largest union, Unite, which has members in virtually every sector and therefore every sector affected by austerity. I'd like to welcome Tony Burke.
Colleagues and friends, the Prime Minister and the Chancellor now have nowhere else to hide. Over the last 3 years, they've wrecked the economy. They've torn apart our welfare state and returned Britain to the inequality and poverty of decades past. There's not a single measure on which their economic plan can be regarded as successful. Growth collapsed, debt up, deficit rising, the NHS privatised, child poverty up, employment rights gone, manufacturing in the doldrums, and our young people like Wayne facing a life on the dole. Last week, the Prime Minister outlined his 3 priorities for his budget: fiscal responsibility, monetary activism, and global competitiveness. And yet, in just 3 years, the Chancellor has added £300 billion to the national debt. He's failed to get the banks lending and oversee declining manufacturing output, only described this week. The truth is that Cameron and Osborne are rebuilding Tory Britain. Their vision is a Britain run for the advantage of the few and not the many, the 1% and not the 99%. And let us not forget, Osborne inherited the growing economy from Labour. In his reckless austerity agenda, it's driven down demand and drained growth out of our economy. The low-growth economy that only offers insecure employment, and it suits the elite. It's their price worth paying in order to crush organised labour and end hard-won employment rights, not just from the UK, but from the European Union as well. A healthy economy and a healthy jobs market means better working conditions, democracy at work, full employment and well-paid workers. And it also means powerful trade unions. The low-wage, low-growth economy suits just to make ends meet or wait at the end of the phone and rely on payday loans. Osbornenomics is not about building the economy fit for the people, but hammering ordinary people in the name of the economy. Public services cut to the bone because of the failures of the Chancellor. The NHS privatised against the protests of the public. Vital local public services for the young and old are cut in the name of austerity. But let me be clear, Unite says there is an alternative. A Britain of full employment. A Britain with social justice. A Britain where they care for our elderly and sick. A Britain where there is hope for our young. A Britain where there is an alternative of growth and jobs. And as Francis said, a Britain where companies and the rich pay their taxes. A Britain no longer beholden to organised spivery. A Britain where working people are not just 3 paychecks away from destitution. And an economy and society that puts people before profits. The Chancellor has run out of ideas and he's run out of time. Booed at the Olympics, despised by working people, mocked by the city, castigated in the media. He is, as Monty Python once said, an ex-Chancellor. If George Osborne worked in the private sector, he'd have been sacked years ago, told to clear his desk, clear his locker, and as somebody once said, for God's sake, go. Comrades, austerity has failed. It's time for a new vision of hope and prosperity. It's time for the alternative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. I know from the TUC General Council, sitting on the council with Tony, there is nobody that battles harder for the manufacturing sector than Tony. Now, today is part of the European Day of Action against austerity, and if the technology is working okay, I'm just going to show you a short film, a short video, a message of solidarity from Bernadette Segol, who is the General Secretary of the European TUC. So I'm just going to slope off the side and hope it's...
Bonsoir et solidarité from the European Trade Union Confederation. Today across Europe, unions are taking action against austerity, against attacks on workers' rights and for jobs and growth. Tomorrow, we will be gathering in Brussels to take our demands to the European leaders. We say no to austerity, yes to a better future for all.
Very short and sharp, but very welcome too. We will relay your applause to Bernadette tomorrow. Now, our next speaker is from Usdaw. I'm really pleased to welcome Ruth Cross, who's going to tell us about how the austerity is impacting on her area.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. I want to thank TUC for giving us the opportunity to be part of tonight's rally. And I want to talk about the experience of Usdaw members who, like all working people right now, are at the sharp end of the Coalition's austerity programme. The majority of our members are low-paid women workers, most of them working in retail. who can't find childcare that fits around her shifts, even if she could afford it. Faye earns the national minimum wage, which would be wiped out in its entirety by the average cost of a nursery, which is now £11,000 a year. Faye's been told by her employer that she can't change her shifts to fit around school hours, even though she's recently become a single parent through domestic violence. Unions are giving a voice to women like Faye and to millions like her. You know, it's workers like this who were once told trade unions have nothing to offer you. We were once told the traditional view was that low-hours part-time women weren't interested in joining trade unions and that we couldn't organise them. But it's precisely amongst that group of workers that membership is growing, not just in Ulster, but in other unions represented here tonight. So our message tonight is not just government, you've got it wrong, important though that is. We're reaching out beyond this hall tonight to the thousands of workers in the service sector and beyond, to say you are key to the UK's economic revival, and there is an alternative. Ours is the majority voice, the polls show that. We understand the pressure you're under, we understand the realities of life under the coalition, and ours is the right message. We have the right approach and we are the majority. We demand a budget for growth, investment in jobs and services, and an end to attacks on women and children and the support services that they rely on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ruth, on behalf of Ulster. More millionaires in the cabinet than mothers. Doesn't it say it all? Our next speaker is the Chief Executive of a race equality think tank called the Runnymede Trust. I'd like to welcome Rob Barkley.
Brothers and sisters, it's a real pleasure to be here, and thank you to the TUC and the unions for the work they've done in highlighting that this isn't the only choice that we could have made. This coalition government has made a decision to try and cut its way out of the financial crisis, a financial crisis caused by the banks. They made this decision in spite of all the evidence that suggests that it won't work. They could have decided differently, but they still maintain the pretense that this is the only course of action possible. They also insist that we're all in this together. But it's become increasingly clear that this is not true. Instead of all in this together, the message to many Black and Asian people has been, you're on your own, mate. Obviously, cuts to public services matter most to those who use them most. And as we start to feel the impact of the cuts in so many areas, Black and Asian people are suffering disproportionately. But it is in the means of providing for their families through work that we see the most significant losses. Levels of unemployment and underemployment in Black and Asian communities have been too high for too long. But the government's plan A is making this worse rather than better. 50% of Black Caribbean women work in the public sector. And as the public sector workforce has shrunk, they're bearing the brunt of these cuts. Research by Diane Abbott's office and by Unison has shown that cuts to jobs are not being fairly shared across all communities. In one multi-ethnic London borough, the workforce has been cut by 6%, but Black and Asian workers have been cut by 24%. Our research suggests that this is a pattern that is increasingly common. More than half of young Black men are out of work. Our government has no answer to this scandal, refusing even to acknowledge that the scale of the problem, or even that it is a problem. The work programme is not working. It's not working for anybody, but in particular it's not working for Pakistani and Bangladeshi women. In our society, 1 in 5 young people are from BAME backgrounds, yet only 1 in 12 apprentices are. The banks are failing to support BAME businesses, and government has in never-ending talks with them about the discrimination that they practice. And this includes banks that we own. They seem to be wary of this level of inaction. They seem to be scared of being challenged. Our government has branded attempts to hold them to account on race equality as red tape. It's downgraded equality impact assessments and tried to make it harder to bring cases to court. It's also reduced the Equality and Human Rights Commission to a mere shell of its former self. Again, we hear talk about the government repealing the Human Rights Act. If these cuts are so fair, George, what are you so worried about? George Osborne and Daniel Alexander have an opportunity to do differently in next week's budget. Rather than leaving some groups behind, we could be using all the talent in our society to rebuild our economy. We could be capitalising on the diversity in our society because it is our strength. Too often, our government seems to think that it is our shame. Even greater racial inequality in our society is not a price worth paying. For a future that works for all in our society, George, it's time for Plan B.
Trust us. Now, just before I introduce the next speaker, just by way of a little arm exercise, can you just grab those things behind you? This is for the benefit of photographers. Those things behind you, and just let's have a good look at the flags and a nice old kind of wave around. Yeah, that's great. Actually, that's fantastic.
Wednesday to recognise the failure of austerity. Recognising failure, of course, would be difficult for him, but then the budget should be for the good of the country and not for his own reputation. A change, of course, is necessary even by this government's measure of success or failure. I am sure that we all remember that Cameron and Osborne have previously explained that only austerity would work in a recession. And just to recap, according to them, austerity would lead to the economy returning to growth, an expansion of the most productive sectors with a march of manufacturers, a renewal of private investment having been supposedly crowded out by public spending, a reduction of the public sector deficit, the maintenance of the country's creditworthiness with a AAA rating, and by every one of these measures, the coalition government's policies have failed. They've badly failed. Far from the economy growing, we have had a double-dip recession. Even if we avoid a triple dip, then the economy is still in a state of stagnation. Manufacturers aren't marching. In fact, they are falling faster than the service sector. Private investors are hoarding cash rather than investing. Over £750 billion of company cash is being held by the banks. Nor is the public spending deficit falling. Even George Osborne has been forced to admit that it's grown over the last year. And of course, this government has presided over Moody's downgrading of Britain's AAA rating. And just as they have a brass heart, so this government has a brass neck. Regardless of failure, Cameron and Osborne do not intend to change course. No intention at all of moving away from Plan A for austerity. Indeed, chums. Together with the TUC, the CWU believes that there is an alternative to austerity. We want to see an expansion of the economy. We want to see investment leading to growth. Because with expansion and growth, more people are employed, more tax is paid into the exchequer, and less is paid out in unemployment benefits. And people have hope and not despair. And by this method, comrades, the public sector deficit can actually be reduced in a natural and gradual manner. The cuts to the living standards of millions of people have reduced economic activity, not stimulated it. Now we need a jobs and wages-led recovery to stimulate consumer demand and spending. The CWU believes that a budget for growth should include a major house-building programme by government and local councils for social housing, an introduction of high-speed broadband to all areas of the country, and universal access to the next generation of telecommunications and information technology, an ending of the 1% limit on public sector pay, an ending of benefit cuts for the unemployed, people with disabilities and the most vulnerable in our society, the end to outsourcing and privatisation, and no sale of Royal Mail, and keeping the Crown Office network of post offices. Banks that public already owns should be lending, not hoarding. The CWU believes that the economy needs investment, not cuts. And how can this government even begin to try and explain to the 4.6 million women affected by the squeeze on child tax credit that it's good for the economy? How do they explain to the low-paid new mothers that are losing £1,300 during pregnancy and baby's first year because of cuts to maternity pay, pregnancy support and tax credits that it's good for the economy? And how do they explain to the unemployed, and especially the young unemployed, that a part-time job is better than a full-time job or any job at all, because apparently it's good for the economy? And they don't explain that because they can't explain that. This government's policies are founded on the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Some things like Cameron and Osborne's plans for dealing with the economy must never change, but change they must. We are committed to supporting the TUC's campaign against austerity. There is an alternative, and through our joint action, we will make it a reality. Comrades, we want a future for families and a future that works. Thank you.
Post office closures. Now, our next speaker is from another country. It's the, as I mentioned earlier, it's the European Day of Action today, so it would be very amiss of the TUC not to invite somebody from a sister union from abroad. I'm desperately hoping my pronunciation is correct at this point. I'd like to welcome Paola Gizente to the stage. Paola is a youth officer for one of the public sector trade union federations in Spain. You're very welcome, Paola.
Good evening, dear colleagues. Greetings from Spain and from Comisiones Obreras, my trade union. We welcome the celebration of this rally in a moment when European families, especially young people, are suffering not only the consequences of the crisis, but also of the austerity. Who is this crisis for? Only a part of the society, the social majority, the working class, is paying a heavy price, losing rights and welfare. In the meantime, fortunes are growing, and are growing only for some. In Spain, while we have a minimum wage of 645 euros per month, and more than 50% of young people are unemployed, we have also the third richest man in the world. While consumption of basic products is decreasing, luxury industry is living its best moment. Company benefits are not having a positive impact on social welfare. nor pay taxes at the same level as workers do. Public services are being sold as a business opportunity. Our education, our health system, our transport, and also our democracy are treated by the market. Precarious is the word that defines our labor market. Even before the crisis, young people had the worst working conditions, the worst salaries. Youth unemployment rates doubled the average rate, and also their salaries were 30% worse. The fact that young people were often on temporary contracts meant they were the first to leave their companies. So youth unemployment increased faster than the general. So we cannot accept more precariousness as the way out of the crisis. Yesterday, the Spanish government presented a package of measures to promote youth unemployment, offering employers savings and calling for the self-employment. Policies that are useless without a change on economic policies. Also, with the excuse of economic slump and the need of flexibility, we have suffered two labor reforms since 2010 that cut rights, affecting especially collective bargaining. Now, workers are more unprotected while employers have been reinforced. Companies are now allowed to modify working conditions when they want. Nowadays, a huge part of Spanish youth see the future out of the country, tired of being chained by precarious jobs, and after investing hundreds of hours studying, looking for an opportunity. Some of them are deciding to leave Spain. A youth campaign says, we do not go out, they kick us out. And this is true. They are stealing our present and our future. And that is not our only drama. Families are losing their homes every day. Entire families with all their members unemployed are living with the incomes of elder pensions. With less help and more taxes, students are living higher education because families cannot pay the taxes. Actually, tomorrow, university students will be on strike against this tax increase. Could it be that 2 years ago, Spanish society was relatively calm, but now conflict is part of our life? In companies, on the streets, everywhere. Now people demand more democracy, more participation and transparency of governments and institutions. So let us join together for the better future for Europe, for our countries, for our youth, and for everybody. Thank you.
Bad politics, bad government knows no boundaries, do they? Please send our good wishes and solidarity back to your union federation. Thank you. Well, our next speaker is from the Child Poverty Action Group, Alison Garner, who's going to remind us of how child poverty, I'm sure you are, about how child poverty is increasing yet again in this country. I had my own union's conference in Manchester last week, and now in Manchester, central Manchester, half of all children being born into poverty. We need a future that works for our children. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. By 1997, child poverty had trebled. It was one of the most toxic legacies of the 1980s and 90s, and you'll all remember it. Between 1998 and 2010, though, child poverty has fallen by 1.1 million. We had a cross-party consensus in the Child Poverty Act, but all of that is now in reverse. Families with children are getting a double lookout. Benefits rising by 1% for the next 3 years, rising with neither prices nor earnings. A 4% real terms cut in benefits. And 60% of the cuts are falling on low-income working families. Today, 6 in 10 poor children live with a working parent. They're poor massive social consequences. It affected children's health, their education and their well-being. It also wasted economic potential. So if governing is about choosing, why is it that our children are the last pick when it comes to the big decisions? Government says, repeatedly, it doesn't want children in future to pick up the tab for our national debt. But instead it's asking low-income children to pay for it today. We need more help in the budget with things like childcare costs. Personal tax allowances don't benefit the lowest earning workers because it's wiped out by means-tested benefits. That can be fixed, why don't they? We need support for advice. Given the massive changes to benefits, it's desperately needed. Instead, we're seeing advice services close. And last but not least, no more benefit cuts. Bill, I think demonstrated the public are much more savvy than some people think. The penny dropped when the cuts were hitting working people as well as those out of work. But we can't go along with the idea that child poverty should go in the too difficult tray for the foreseeable future, which is what's in danger of happening. It will leave a shameful and costly legacy. Taxpayers will be forced to pick up the bill in future years. Putting children on the front line of austerity is not making tough decisions. It's a disaster waiting to happen. We need landing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alison. The TUC has worked with the Child Poverty Action Group for many years now and will be continuing to do so. Now, disabled campaigners up and down the country are fighting hard to expose the realities of austerity. And our next speaker from the TUC Disabled Workers Committee is Mandy Hudson. I'd like to welcome you, Mandy.
Thank you very much. I am the co-chair of the TUC Disabled Workers Committee and I'm also the representative for the disabled members of the National Union of Teachers on their national executive. And I'm here to speak today about the effects of the cuts on disabled workers and their families. The previous speaker has spoken about the effects of how many more children will be forced into poverty as a result of these cuts. We've also got to remember that 100,000 disabled children will lose £28 per week as of April the 1st as the child tax element of the benefits disappears with universal credit. There's many other things that are disappearing with universal credit as well, such as the severe disability premium, which will affect 230,000 people. 116,000 disabled workers will also lose £40 a week when the disability element of working tax credit disappears. And I feel that there's a lot of cuts just being wrapped up and disguised in this next budget, and we need to continue to campaign. Catherine Carnby is a journalist who's been chronicling the effect of the right-wing media in terms of the way that disabled people have been scapegoated since the last election. And I'd recommend her book, Scapegoat, Why We Are Failing Disabled People, as a way of mapping the way that we have been criminalised, not just victimised, but criminalised by this government. We've also got to realise as well that there are many other cuts that are having an effect on disabled workers. 54 employ factories have been closed in recent months, and that's left 1,700 people out of work. And by our reckoning, there's only about 35 people out of those who've actually been able to get other employment. I want to quote from Phil Brannan, who's a GMB shop steward up in Glasgow, and this is what he had to say about what's happening at the moment for disabled workers. First of all, you make it difficult for disabled people to claim anything at all, and then you make them work for nothing. This is slavery. If you make someone work for nothing, what else can you call it? At the moment, there are 340,000 people who have been placed into the work-related group, which means that basically they do have to work for nothing in order to receive any kind of benefit at all. I think that disabled people are in a trap because we are being told that we're fit to work by the work capability assessment that's been undertaken by ATOS, and yet at the same time our employment opportunities are shrinking, and we can't find a way forward from this as long as this government continues in the path that it has chosen. This rally today is about easing the squeeze on families. We've got to realise that for families with disabled members, whether or not those disabled people are working, whether they're disabled children, the effect in terms of the massive social care cuts that are going on is that disabled people will become more and more dependent on their families and their friends for care, and that will have a knock-on effect in terms of those people being able to actually effectively do their jobs, whilst employers are unwilling to have flexible working hours, and things will just get worse for them. I'm very angry that the situation that we've got in terms of this financial crisis has not been caused by disabled people, and yet along with women and black and Asian people and many others, we're facing the hardest aspects of this, and we're being blamed for it. Yesterday, the government decided to vote down the tax, the sort of so-called mansion tax on properties over 2 million, and yet at the same time we have the bedroom tax, which is affecting many disabled people who are considered to have an extra bedroom when actually what they need is extra space in their living space. And it just seems very, very unfair that this is the situation. So I welcome this rally. I welcome the fact that TUC is wanting to highlight the issues that are faced by all workers. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk about what's been happening to disabled workers. So let's work together for that fairer future for families, and I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you.
We are very grateful too for the opportunity of being able to hear you this evening. Our next speaker needs little introduction. I know it's Mark Swatka from the PCS Union. Very welcome, Mark.
Well, thanks very much, Leslie, and thanks everyone for coming to tonight's rally. On behalf of my union, PCS, there's 2 points really that we wanted to get over tonight. One are the very clear things which you call on the Chancellor to do in the budget, but knowing that he's not likely to do them, we're hoping that Ed Balls will listen to some of the ideas and commit the Labour Party to do them in opposition. And the second thing we want to do is to make the case as to what the trade union movement should now be doing to put pressure on the government to try and change course. So let's quickly just outline what we think the working class need in Britain in terms of economic policy change. First of all, we should say break the pay freeze. There should be no pay freeze across the public sector or anywhere else. £50 billion has been taken out of the economy because of pay restraint. We should increase the minimum wage. If the minimum wage had increased in line with inflation, it would be 6% higher than it is now. We should stop cutting jobs. 300,000 jobs have gone in the public sector since the general election. 75,000 of those have gone in the civil service alone. We should cap rents, not benefits. We should make a clear statement that the spiralling cost of housing benefits is not the fault of those people who need to claim housing benefits. It is because of millionaire landlords charging extortionate rents. Investment, and not be shy to say that means borrowing more. We need to borrow more to kickstart the economy, to build the schools, build the roads, build the hospitals, to get people back to work and improve the society that we live in. We should scrap the work programme, and we should increase social security benefit levels to a level that people can survive on. Do you know, in 1979, job seekers allowance or unemployment 21% of average earnings. Today it is 11% of average earnings. If it was at the same level now as it was then, the £79 or £71 current job seekers allowance would be £130 a week. We should also be clear. TUC policy agreed with the Congress that our union is happy to endorse. We should nationalise the banks. We should nationalise the banks on the basis of the finance sector working in the interest of the people of this country, not in terms of the spigs and speculators. We should scrap Trident. Britain should scrap nuclear weapons, and it should save billions of pounds in order to invest in our society. And we should close the tax gap, and we should reverse the tax cuts for millionaires and actually start asking them to pay their way. Now that is a radical budget. That is a budget that would inspire and enthuse millions, make a difference to everybody's lives, and would tackle inequality in this country. However, optimistic as I am, I do not believe that George Osborne is going to agree to any one of those 10 suggestions next week. So I want to finish on this. We can have the right policy, we can make the case for fairness, but if they aren't listening, we have to do something to increase the pressure on them. And there's three things that I want to draw to your attention. Firstly, next week on the day of the budget itself, our union will be calling out 250,000 PCS members on strike. On strike for decent pay, an end to job cuts, an end to attack on their pensions and terms and conditions. We will have pickets and rallies the length and breadth of the country. If you live in London, there will be one outside Parliament with a big screen so we can watch the budget and boo at the appropriate moments. And the more people who come, the better. Secondly, we have also today agreed and will announce tomorrow further national strike action on the 5th of April. And the 5th of April is the day that is the end of the tax year. Our strike will coincide with the fact that our members' pension contributions will increase on the very day that millionaires will get tens of thousands of pounds in tax breaks. We will also be calling for a series of demonstrations and protests the length and breadth of the UK. Can I publicly thank tonight those PCS reps who gave Francis Moore a healthy reception when he turned up at the Ministry of Justice earlier this morning and sneaked in the back door with his jack, and also those NUT members and supporters who have demonstrated today against Michael Gove and the despicable policies in the economy. We need more protests, we need more mobilisation. So my final suggestion is this. We hope our strike action is successful, but we're quite clear that our union is right to call action, but we all know if more of us take action together, we have got a better chance of winning. And therefore I want to float tonight on behalf of my union this, a significant day. The 26th of June, 3 months' time, George Osborne will do another significant thing. He will announce his comprehensive spending review, which will confirm the butchering of public spending for the next 3 years. What a brilliant day that would be. While he announces cuts in Parliament, to see as many people as we can take industrial action together, demonstrating together and protesting together. If we build that movement, we can turn our aspirations into reality, and God knows our people deserve it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mark, and very good luck to all PCS members for your dispute next week. We'll all be there visiting your picket lines and giving you support. Now, Mark just mentioned that another group of union members had
on his school since this government has been in office. They do their very best that they can every day. But he said he can do nothing about the bedroom tax. It's wicked, he said, that families will be uprooted and their children will be forced from their family homes. Colleagues, we need change. We need it now. We must stand together and say austerity isn't working. We need a future that works. We need a future for women, for children, for families, for everybody. And we can get this future if we simply take the sensible course of borrowing more, getting the economy moving, getting people into decent paid work instead of on benefits. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Maggie Hughes, who's been a full-time carer for over 30 years for 2 now adult children. She's been a campaigner for victims of crime abroad, and in between doing all that, she's found time to be an active member of the GMB. So I'd like to welcome Maggie.
Good evening to you all. I'm a campaigner for victims of crime abroad, a mum of 8 grown-up children and a nan to 10 grandchildren. And of course, I'm a very proud member of the GMB and also household. I have been a full-time carer for my son Stephen for over 37 years. As you have heard, I'm very lucky as I have a big family who can take over when I need to have a rest or if I want to do something for myself in life. However, I am also aware that most carers may not have a big army of helpers like me to support them, and their voices need to be heard. I get carers announced looking after my disabled son. Every year, my benefit normally goes up, and it's now at a staggering amount of £58.45 per week. Can you imagine what I can do with this amount of money? Maybe a night out at the cinema, a small weekly shop at Tesco's, or even having half my hair done at my local hairdressers. But we must not forget the £58 per week. This averages out to 70 pence an hour, and that has to last a carer for a whole week. As you can imagine, a carer spends most of their lives in poverty, not because they want to, it's because they have to. A carer may not even have the time for a proper night's sleep or even a rest break. And lots of elderly carers become isolated and very lonely, confined to their own homes with no interactions with other people from the outside world for days or even weeks. Filling in benefit forms is also an uphill struggle, then to have to do them all over again because the benefit agencies say it needs to check you're getting the right amount. Carers allowance can also be cut into and taken partially away. As a carer, they have to rely on other benefits they claim to make ends meet. And carers who decide to take a part-time job to bring in a little extra money can also be penalised in so many ways. Example, the working carer has to make sure that they don't get too close to the maximum amount that they can earn, as a penny either way could have their benefits stopped. And if it's reinstated, they may have to wait weeks before they get this money back, and this action could have a carer in debt for months. Even though we have the Carers Act, some employers haven't got it right, as carers are put under so much pressure to work hours that don't fit in line with their caring needs. Carers sometimes go back to work not just to earn extra money, but to have a life of their own outside of their everyday caring duties. Recently, this government announced that it was making changes to the carer system. I was so pleased when I first heard this news, as this meant my carer's allowance was in line for a big pay rise. Well, that's what I thought. But as we all now know, the real reality is this government does not care at all about people on low incomes, let alone carers on a very low existence. Becoming a carer is a life-changing decision, often happening without much thought being given to the possible consequences. Some individuals may take on the responsibility, believing it will only full-time occupation. Each case of caring is different, and no two people will be affected in the same way. It can, of course, be gratifying and rewarding experience. This very important role can help you to build a specialised skill you may not have otherwise discovered. On the other hand, carers without the right of information, or a strong support network, and most importantly, a decent living wage to live on, can be left with poor health, social isolation, poverty and mental health problems. Now we have the so-called bedroom tax. Does this out-of-touch government think it's easy for people with disabilities or families on low incomes and carers in receipt of carers benefit to just downsize to smaller homes? I would like to send a message to Mr Cameron, as he is saying we all need this house because of the economic instability in the UK. This government also said we all need to tighten our belts. However, Mr Cameron was not saying this recently when it was announced that the bankers will now have their bankers' benefit cut. Instead, he was up in arms, crying like a baby, saying the top bankers will go elsewhere in the world, and if they do, we will all suffer as a result. But why is he not up in arms over our cuts to our services and our carers' rights to decent living allowance, so we can at least try to live from day to day? Carers just can't pick up and move their homes to other places around the country, or can we have a say in our terms and conditions, nor do we have the right to negotiate a decent pay rise. So I am sure you will agree that our hard-working carers all around the country do a fantastic job, and they save our country millions of pounds in care costs every year. I believe it's about time this out-of-touch, squeeze-me-dry government realises this, and from now on respects our carers, our disabled and our families on low incomes, and starts showing them a real duty of care. Thank you.
Speakers, so I ask you just to hang on in there because I don't think you'll want to miss them. Right, first off, Ian Leaher from the FBU. The FBU, as you know, are fighting here in London station closures, privatisation, job cuts, and Ian is here to tell you about it. Thank you, Ian.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Greetings from the Fire Brigade Union. Austerity. You've heard a lot tonight about what austerity means for the various trade unions and the employees that they represent. But what you haven't heard is the dangerous side of austerity. The austerity where this government is calling for 5,000 firefighters across the country to lose their jobs by 2015. And in specific, the job cuts that are going to come into London, 520 jobs if Boris Johnson gets his way, and goes against a democratic decision of his female authority when they said these cuts are dangerous and reckless. People will die as a direct result of these cuts by Boris Johnson. Make no mistake about it. We've seen our workforce in London cut from near enough 7,000 just a few years ago to less than 5,000 today. And as far as the fire service is concerned, these cuts just about increasing attendance time by a few seconds. But what they don't tell you is that the fire isn't going to wait. It's not going to stand there and say, well, these cuts are not going to be a harm to everybody. We're going to make sure that this fire gets put out as quickly as possible. It's the fire service that comes when you want us to come now. And the only way that we can defeat Boris Johnson, defeat this coalition in maintaining that you keep an emergency service that you want in your hour of need is to come together. That means brothers and sisters, local community people coming together with local firefighters to challenge these cuts in London. And today I can tell you that on the 16th of this month, this Saturday, Clapham Fire Station will be having a march through Clapham against the closure of Clapham Fire Station, who was one of the first on the scene at the helicopter crash recently. And then the whole of the London Fire Brigade across every single fire station will be out on a day of action on the 16th, making sure that we engage with local communities and get them on board. Because be clear about this, Boris Johnson means to cut your fire service. You'll hear statistics that say we don't attend as many fires as we used to. We don't have so serious fires as we used to. But what it doesn't tell don't attend so many calls, as he puts it, because they don't send us home. We don't go to the shutting lifts like we used to, when people are suffering with claustrophobia stuck in a lift and have to wait for hours for lift engineers to turn up. When we used to be there in 5 to 6 minutes. And what he also doesn't tell you is that for every second that goes up on attendance time, you have to wait longer for that fire engine. And that puts your life at risk. Not only does it put your life at risk, it puts the firefighters' lives at risk who are there to help them. So please, when you go out here, make sure that you tell your friends, your families, that on the 16th, go to the local fire stations, rally around the local firefighters, because these cuts will affect 4.7 million people in this capital. And we don't want to see these cuts be the result of someone's death, whether it be a member of the public or a firefighter. So please, support us, support your local fire station, and if Boris Johnson gets his way and cuts this fire station, then occupy it. Don't allow them to come in.
Of luck for the 16th. It really is scary stuff, isn't it? Our final speaker, I'm so pleased, this is from, we're talking about an area of the public sector that's so dear to my heart, the NHS. Dr. Penelope Jarrett, who is from Lewisham, but it's a very active campaign, SOS Lewisham. Thank you.
I want to tell you about Lewisham Hospital. This hospital is in the geographical heart of the borough of Lewisham. Nobody is further than one bus ride away. This is important when 1/3 of households do not have access to a car. The hospital is well run and financially solvent. It has been ranked in the top 40 performing hospitals in the country for the last 3 years. It trains many nursing and medical students, as well as junior doctors, who give it consistently high ratings. But there's something more important about this hospital. I worked there as a junior doctor, trained to be a GP. I was immediately struck by the friendliness, the sense of community, the sense of ownership. Staff like me live in the borough. When we are ill, or our children, or our parents, we go to Lewisham Hospital. It is our hospital. Sadly, not everyone is so lucky, and next door, the South London Healthcare Trust is struggling, crippled by 2 big PFI debts. Last summer, the coalition government sent in a trust special administrator to try to sort it out. He came up with a plan which included downgrading Lewisham Hospital, notably A&E and maternity services. We've already heard how this government don't understand. Various financial and clinical arguments have been deployed to try to justify this, including that there will be more care in the community, closer to home. Yet funding for community services has been cut. The arguments are all based on poor data. I don't have time to rehearse them all here, but they are fully refuted in the clinicians' open letters on the Save Lewisham Hospital website. The government doesn't seem to understand how things are interconnected. The Trust Special Administrator doesn't seem to understand. If we downgrade Lewisham A&E, the cardiologists and respiratory specialists are not looking after acute cases, and there will not be enough work for them to be employed. Consequently, there will be no cardiology or respiratory clinics. A&E patients will suffer, but also routine outpatients who will now have to travel much further to other hospitals. So much for care close to home. Lewisham GPs collaborated with Lewisham Hospital to produce integrated care pathways so patients can be seen promptly by the most appropriate specialist in the most appropriate place. More recently, GPs and the hospital have been working with the council to interconnect health and social care in a planned way. All this will be lost. So much for GP-led commissioning. After Lewisham Council, Lewisham Healthcare Trust is the largest employer in this deprived borough. Not only will services be lost, but also jobs. And this at a time when cuts in benefits and housing are already causing increasing stress, as previous speakers have explained. We GPs see how things are interconnected. as more people come to us with depression or anxiety. The campaign against the Special Administrator's proposals began with a few local doctors, patients and trade unionists, but quickly spread. Via posters and leaflets, emails and blogs, we recruited not only activists of all political persuasions, but civic societies, local shops and businesses, Millwall football team, cartoonists, even the Honourable WI. The actual consultation was a farce, but not so our demonstrations. On a rainy day last November, and nearly an even greater force in January, Lewisham residents turned out to middle their lawn. 25,000 of them. They were young and old, walking and in wheelchairs, of all faiths and Islam, of every ethnicity, thousands of whom had never been on a demonstration in their lives before. The people of Lewisham understand that a hospital is